Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Afiq bin Muhammad Kushairi and my partner is Muhammad Adi bin Aziz. We are going to talk about cut-off in Chapter 6, Assertion. Assertions are an important aspect of auditing, since financial statements cannot be held to a lie detector test to determine whether they are factual or not. Other methods must be used to establish the truth of the financial statement. Moving on, assertions are defined as a statement that is believed to be true by the speaker. An assertion can be anything. For example, I assert that fundamental value investing is the best investing philosophy. However, it is difficult to measure whether the statement is indeed true. Similarly, with financial statement, it is difficult to determine what financial statement and information is free from material misstatement. There are two aspects in material misstatement. Clearly, materiality plays a large role. However, how to measure what information is true and fair or misstated is crucially important information. Assertions play a key role in determining what is true and fair when auditing financial records. There are several key points to assertion, but what I am interested to talk is about cut-off in auditing. First of all, what is cut-off? Cut-off date in accounting. In accounting, the cut-off date is the point in time that represented when additional business transactions are to be recorded in the following reporting period. For example, January 31 is the cut-off date for all transactions that will be recorded in the month of January. All transactions occurring after that date will be recorded in February or later the month. The concept is especially applicable when conducting an inventory count, where the receiving and shipping function may be closed down at the end of the cut-off date to ensure the inventory transactions are properly recorded. This means that transactions and events have been recorded in the current accounting period. For example, if goods are delivered prior to year-end, they are included in the cost of goods sold, not in the inventory. Going on with cut-off date, in property law, the date at which the unclaimed security or other property is turned over to the state in which the last owner was last known to reside, and the date a discount, sale, or other especially lowered price on a product or product expires. And lastly, the last day of a month in which a bank calculates the activity on its account. For example, if the cut-off date is in the 15th of the month, the bank calculates its account activities from the 15th of the one month to the 15th of the next month. Statements are based on activity between cut-off dates. There are differences between allocation of timing and allocation for cut-off. Allocation for timing will be talked about in income statement account assertion, where it is important for the occurrence, where the completeness, and the measurement. Under timing, the measurement can be separated in accuracy, classification, posting, summarization, and timing. For allocation in cut-off, it is usually related in balance sheet account assertion. It is comprises of existence, completeness, right, and obligation of the ownership. And for measurement, it consists of accuracy, valuation, classification, details tie-in, and the timing. Thank you.
One of the most common forms of cut-off which occur in the calculation of inventory and revenue. These are usually done by top manager due to the conflict of interest generated by the agency theory. The manager will adjust the financial statement to make sure they manage to achieve the target of the year to secure the position in the company. For instance, the managers will overstate the current year asset in the form of inventory or overstate the revenue for the current accounting period by inserting the sales from past or future accounting period. Throughout history, this breach of conduct has been done a few times. These are a few examples of audit cases that we managed to learn from the past audit experience. The first case comes in the form of inventory fraud in the case of Crazy Eddie. Crazy Eddie was an electronic and appliance retail store run by the Anta family, which began operation as a private company in the 1960s. The company was famed for its cheap electronic devices compared to its competitor. Since the fraud cases are considered to be the longest running scheme in the modern time, the company have committed multiple fraud across the years, such as underreported income for tax purpose. But the cut-off breach occurred during 1984 to 1987 as the company wanted to overstate their income to increase the stock price. One of the methods used is to understating the account payable to inflate reporting profit, which is called account payable cut-off fraud. The company decided to claim the inventory received before the end of the accounting period was invoiced by the supplier and reflected as shipped to the company in a subsequent accounting period. The cut-off will show a constant stream of inventory from the supplier to the company, thus convincing the investor that the company is performing greatly and the revenue is justified. The second form of cut-off breach occurs with the revenue recognition, usually related to sales account. The breach usually done at the end of accounting period, where the company will take the sales from the next accounting period to increase the current statement. The act is done to increase the company's sales and reach the management budget set by the shareholders. For instance, the sale in the first month of 2021 will be inserted into the sale in December 2020. This can be seen in the case of WorldCom. In 2002, the company scandal became one of the largest accounting fraud in history when the company revealed its wrongdoing and was subsequently forced to file bankruptcy and write off a $50 billion losses in $15 billion losses. The scandal began when WorldCom CEO Bernie Ebbers employed a business strategy of achieving growth through acquisition. He is determined to show increased revenue despite a slowdown in mergers and acquisitions. Ebbers manipulated the books to satisfy the Wall Street expectation. The scheme was detected when a capital expenditure audit revealed a suspicious journal entries. The CEO, Abby Ebbers, underreported life costs by capitalizing rather than expensing and inflated revenue with fake accounting entries. Except for generating fake entries, the company also doubles with cut-off by inserting the subscription that occur early in the next year. While we are at it, let us discuss more about revenue recognition. There could be an instance where companies recognize revenue and purchases based on the date of sales, invoiced without taking into consideration the requirement of financial reporting standard 18. It states that revenue from the sale of goods should be recognized when the entity has been transferred to the buyer with the significant risk and reward of ownership of the goods, while the risk and reward refer to the inventory safely reach the buyer and fulfill its purpose. So the cut-off errors will usually arise when company recognize revenue based on the date on which the sales invoices are generated rather than on the date which the risk and reward are transferred to the buyer. In conclusion, a cut-off breach are usually done in low volume to prevent the detection by the auditor. Since the cut-off test run by the external auditor can easily detect any misstatement in the report. Thus, the management will increase the revenue by inventing fake entries since fake entries in the financial report are harder to be detected, and complement it with cut-off breach. This can be seen in the case of WorldCom and many others. That's all from us. Thank you.